welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Elizabeth bringing you G's, politics, updates around the continent as the drop. Now my radar has just dropped on Bobrisky. Bobrisky is a social media sensation in Nigeria, born male as Idris Ogunleye. He's actually 29 years old, and his secondary school education was in King's College in Lagos, and he had gone on to University of Lagos where he graduated from the Department of Accounting. Now, he's had a fairly good educational background, right? Now, Bobrisky has started his cross-dressing journey about 6 years ago when he would make up and dress up all ladylike and does a lot of his dance moves on Snapchat as he influences some of his businesses back then. And as at that time, people really didn't know so much about Bobrisky, so he's really worked hard to create this name that he has for himself right now. Now, Bobrisky's lifestyle, like I mentioned, started as a cross-dresser until he went on to say, I'm not a cross-dresser. I don't fit in that description. And he says he's a woman. So even though physically he's a man, but he's going to say, no, I identify as a female, and that is how I should be addressed. So his pronouns eventually changed to she, her, instead of him and the rest of that. Even though some people still throw jabs at him and address him as he. I'm sorry, I'm also using he, but I just want you to understand his journey from being a he until the she. So that's Bobrisky's brief transformation until the level which he had gotten to right now. Now, Bobrisky's lifestyle, it's one the Nigerian government frowns strictly at, and there is a 14 years jail term for transgender, gay, homosexual, people of that sexual orientation. So, and that leaves me with this question. Is the Nigerian government playing blind on Bobrisky's lifestyle, or there is not enough case against him for him to be arrested, for the lifestyle that he has come out to say by himself, I am transgender, right? Or okay, even he has, like, there's some language that Bobrisky hasn't really used. One of them that he's commonly used is the fact that he's a lesbian, right? Even though he's a man in a woman's body, he's a lesbian. And of course, this is also not tolerated in the Nigerian law. And some Nigerian citizens come to embrace Bobrisky for his lifestyle. In the earlier days when he has started, there were a lot of talking, a lot of condemnation about the lifestyle he has chosen, and people thinking that he would influence the youth and millions of his followers negatively into choosing the same lifestyle as Bobrisky. And I'm talking about influencing other people to choose his own lifestyle. There have been people who have sprung up and wanting to be like Bobrisky. Some of them Bobrisky had tried to mentor until he felt like there are challenges to his brand. Okay, so that's something I will talk about later on. But now, still on Bobrisky, he's an entrepreneur, so he's had a lot of business dealing. He's had his own eyelash brand, which later turned out that it's a partnership business between him and one Miss Rose, and that eventually led to a police case and eventually onto the court for them to settle the issue, because Miss Rosemary had claimed that Bobrisky did not remit on the profit of the business as they had arranged. But when Bobrisky was arrested, what came to my mind before I learned is the business gone wrong was that Bobrisky had been arrested for his sexual orientation. And I wondered if that was the end of Bobrisky until the following day on blogs and news. I saw that it's for something else and not for his sexual orientation. Well, that's not to say that I am expecting that Bobrisky be arrested. No, that's far from it. Because in a lot of countries like Britain, South Africa, and even in the US and some other developed nations, they have come to embrace people whose sexual orientation is different from what used to be the normal. Because the man-woman relationship used to be the normal, but now however, whatever gender or sexual orientation one has now, it's more like the new normal in some of those developed nations. And even this has reflected in form applications that they fill online or hard copies there are options for them to choose, especially in those countries that I mentioned. There are options for them to choose male, female, or not to disclose. They choose not to disclose because they understand that they have the right to choose a gender that they identify with. And if the gender is not on the form they are filling, then they can choose not to disclose. There are also some of them who are male but feel like they should be female, so they cannot identify with these two genders that are on the form, and then they choose the option of choosing not to disclose. But that's not the case for Nigeria. He's not just a quiet personality, he's one that's always in the news every day for one thing or the other, either for a fight of supremacy, like what had gone on between him and the other guy who identifies as a woman as well, James Brown. James Brown being someone who is taken after Bobrisky, and Bobrisky felt really threatened, and there was a lot of exchange of words on social media. Bobrisky saying, "You acting like me, this is my brand and don't do that." And again, that brings me to this question: is Bobrisky monopolizing cross-dressing or transgender in Nigeria? Why does it feel threatening that some other person is bringing up? When Bobrisky himself had molded after Denrele, you recall that Denrele was one of the cross-dressers that was popular in Nigeria back then, even though he wasn't as extreme as Bobrisky is right now. You would just see him with flamboyant clothes and high heels, makeup and all of that, but not to those extents as Bobrisky. So if Bobrisky had gone on to model after Denrele and even surpassed him, why does it feel threatening that James Brown is also coming up? And for James Brown coming out to also say, "I identify as a woman," also keeps the question coming again: is Bobrisky influencing people to choose this lifestyle or not? Or is it because the Nigerian government has been quiet about Bobrisky's choice, and that is encouraging people to come out and identify with this sexual orientation? I would like to read your comments about this sexual orientation, and if you think the Nigerian government has relaxed its law, or the Nigerian government is just playing mute, or just acting like they're not seeing those people. I'd like to read your comments on what you think about Bobrisky's lifestyle and his influence on the Nigerian youth. Thank you for joining me. If you're following me for the first time, please do not forget to subscribe and hit the notification button so that you can get my subsequent videos as I post them. Thank you very much. Bye.